Have you ever wondered why you can be so sharp, so quick-witted, yet the life you want still feels strangely out of reach? Ideas come to you all the time. Plans appear in your notebook in neat bullet points with arrows and highlights and little boxes that say future project. When you talk about them, people nod along and say, "Wow, that sounds brilliant." And yet months pass, sometimes years. One day you look up and realize that despite all the thinking, you are still standing in exactly the same place. It hurts to admit it, but sometimes intelligence itself becomes a trap. You analyze well, you can predict outcomes, you see patterns others miss. But the more you think, the less you seem to do. Your mind works like a high-speed search engine while your hands are stuck in airplane mode. Intelligence is supposed to be a gift, but when it is used the wrong way, quietly turns into a barrier. You see through problems faster than most people, yet you get stuck more easily because you think too much, dream too far ahead, and move too little in the present. Instead of stepping forward, you slowly build yourself a beautiful golden cage. From the outside, it looks impressive, full of potential. On the inside, it is simply a very elegant prison. One of the strangest things about clever people is how good they are at fooling themselves. You can imagine 100 scenarios, map out dozens of paths, and calculate every possible risk. You call it preparation. In reality, you often end up doing nothing because somehow it never feels like the right moment to begin. Take something as simple as going to the gym. An average person decides to get in shape, grabs a water bottle, and walks into the nearest fitness center that same evening. You, on the other hand, spend a week comparing workout programs, researching whether you should eat before or after training, and analyzing which brand of protein powder has the best amino acid profile. By the time you finish reading reviews, that average person already has sore muscles and visible progress. This is analysis paralysis. Your brain is so good at processing information that it turns every small decision into an advanced mathematics problem. You fear choosing the wrong option. You dread wasting time. You worry about not doing it perfectly. So your safest choice, the one that protects you from all those fears, is simply not to choose at all. You tell yourself that you are just being careful, that you want to understand everything thoroughly before you start. But when you look honestly at the results, one fact remains: nothing has been done. The world does not reward you for the number of tabs you open in your browser. It rewards you for the actions you take in real life. The second trap is perfectionism, which is really just fear wearing a fancy costume. Intelligent people tend to set extremely high standards for themselves. You do not want to do things okay. You want them flawless, impressive, worthy of your abilities. When a new idea appears, you become excited. You can already see the polished final version in your head. So you say, "Let me prepare properly. Let me refine it a bit more so that when I finally show it to the world, it will be perfect." And while you are polishing, adjusting, and waiting for the mythical moment when everything is ready, the opportunity quietly slips away. Imagine you decide to start a blog to share your knowledge. A regular person opens a laptop, writes a post, hits publish, and learns from the feedback. The first article might be awkward, the layout might not be ideal, but at least it exists. You, however, spend weeks searching for the perfect template, testing fonts for readability, reading articles on the ultimate blogging strategy, and how to build a personal brand from day one. After 2 months, your blog still has 0 posts, but your hard drive is full of documents about how to become a successful blogger. It feels like work. You are busy. Your mind is active. Yet the only thing that matters, a piece of writing that someone can actually read, does not exist. The world does not pay you for how long you prepare or how close your plan is to perfection. It pays you for what you put out there, even if the first version is clumsy and incomplete. Those who succeed are not the ones who waited until they were certain. They are the ones who dared to begin, made mistakes in public, learned, and improved. Intelligence lets you imagine a perfect version of your project. But if you spend all your time chasing that ideal image in your head, the dream will stay locked there forever. Another illusion clever people often carry is the belief that pure talent is enough. You may subconsciously think, if I am smart, if I understand things quickly, success will naturally come to me. It sounds logical, but life does not work that way. Look around at the people, you know. Some of them were not the top students in school. Their ideas are not spectacular. Yet now, they have stable careers, growing businesses, or solid income streams. Meanwhile, you, with your brilliant mind and sharp insights, are still stuck sketching out concepts that never quite move into reality. The truth is that success is not built only on intelligence. It also requires discipline, resilience, and the ability to work with other people. Someone who is less gifted but more persistent can easily surpass you. They may understand things slowly, but they keep showing up, keep practicing, keep failing and trying again. Every attempt moves them a little further forward. You, on the other hand, understand concepts quickly, but you stay on the sidelines, telling yourself you already see the whole picture. So there is no need to waste time doing the basic steps. In the end, they have a portfolio of completed work, while you have a head full of unrealized potential. It can be painful to accept, but the world does not care how impressive your IQ is. It cares about the value you can actually deliver. Intelligence that never turns into results is like a high-end smartphone with an empty battery, expensive, elegant, but useless in practice. You can think of talent as the entry ticket to a stadium. It allows you to walk in. But if you want to stay and play the game, you need endurance, adaptability, and a willingness to get hit, fall down, and stand up again. There is another paradox: the more you know, the harder it becomes to act. People often assume that those with wide knowledge have an advantage, and in many ways they do. Yet knowledge carries a hidden weight. Imagine a chef who knows hundreds of recipes, but cannot decide which one to cook. So the kitchen ends up empty, and everyone goes to bed hungry. Next door lives a neighbor who can only fry eggs. Every evening he fries his eggs and has a simple but real meal. Knowing less makes his life easier. His choices are limited, so he just gets on with it. When you know little, the path is straightforward. Want to sell something, you simply put your product in front of people. Want to exercise, you go outside and start moving. Want to write, you open a document and type. But when your mind is full of theories, methods, and best practices, each action becomes complex. To sell effectively, you tell yourself you must conduct detailed market research, build a brand identity, master social media advertising, and design a long-term funnel. To write a simple article, you think about SEO, optimization, storytelling frameworks, headline formulas, and audience segmentation. It is not that these things are useless. They can be powerful. The problem is that you stay trapped in preparation mode. You read one more book, watch another course, collect more strategies. By the time you feel almost ready, your motivation has quietly faded. The real cost of knowing too much is not confusion in your mind. It is paralysis in your behavior. You stand at a crossroads of 1,000 options, analyzing every possible route while your energy drains away. Meanwhile, someone else with far less information simply chooses a direction and starts walking. They fall, get up, change path, and keep going. By the time you have finished comparing maps, they are already far ahead. In this sense, ignorance can sometimes be an advantage because it forces you to rely on action instead of endless calculation. If we were to oversimplify success into an equation, it might look like this: success equals talent multiplied by the square of effort. Effort counts twice. Natural ability matters, but its impact is dramatically amplified only when combined with sustained work. You can possess a Ferrari-level brain capable of reaching extraordinary speed, but if you rarely start the engine, the car remains in the garage. Meanwhile, someone with a noisy little motorbike that is far from glamorous keeps riding every single day. They navigate traffic, stall, restart, and slowly learn the roads. Eventually, they arrive at destinations you have only seen on online maps. Many highly intelligent people grew up in environments where understanding quickly was enough to earn praise. School rewarded you for solving problems faster than others, not for sticking with something difficult for months or years. As a result, your effort muscle never had to grow. When real life presents challenges that cannot be solved overnight, a long project, a new career, a business, a relationship, the lack of training and persistence becomes obvious. Those who were once called average may adapt more easily because they are used to trying hard, failing, and trying again. Think about how many times you have had a brilliant idea, a product, a book, a channel, a service, and felt a spark of excitement. You could see its potential clearly. Yet weeks later, the idea lies untouched while your attention has moved on to something else. At the same time, someone else with a far more modest idea quietly keeps working. They refine, test, ask for help, and keep going, even when it is boring. Eventually, they launch something real. People see it, use it, and pay for it. You watch from a distance and think, I could have done that, and I could have done it better. Maybe you could, but they did. That is the difference. There is also a subtle psychological trap that often accompanies intelligence, a fragile but powerful ego. From a young age, you may have been praised for your mind. Teachers, relatives, and friends told you that you were the smart one, the talented one, the future success story. Over time, being intelligent becomes part of your identity. It feels good, but it also becomes something you must protect. The idea of looking foolish, of failing publicly, of asking basic questions becomes terrifying. If you try something and do it badly, what does that say about your intelligence? Therefore, when you face a difficult task, instead of jumping in and accepting that you will be clumsy at first, you may choose not to try at all. It is not that you cannot handle the work. It is that you are afraid of damaging the image of yourself as the capable one. Think back to times when you dropped a project the moment it became challenging, or when you hesitated to learn a new skill because you did not want others to see you struggling. That is not laziness. That is pride quietly pulling the brakes. The irony is that those embarrassing, awkward moments are exactly when real growth happens. No one learns to ride a bicycle without wobbling and falling. No one learns a language without mispronouncing words and mixing up grammar. No musician plays beautifully the first time they touch an instrument. If you refuse to go through that messy phase, you condemn yourself to permanent theory and zero practice. You become a promising person forever, someone who could have done something great, but never actually did. Success does not belong to people who protect a perfect image of themselves. It belongs to those who are willing to look inexperienced, to ask naive questions, to fail in public, and then try again. True intelligence is not the ability to avoid mistakes. It is the courage to keep moving despite them. Your ego can be like an expensive designer coat. It looks impressive, but if you are too afraid of getting it dirty, you will never leave the house when it rains. Life, however, is full of mudstorms and unexpected puddles. If you want to go far, you need to be willing to get messy. Another hidden weakness of many smart people lies in social skills. You might be excellent at solving complex problems, writing code, or analyzing data, yet feel awkward during a simple conversation. You can explain quantum mechanics but freeze when someone asks, "So, how was your weekend?" Because of this, your career and opportunities can stall, not due to lack of ability, but due to lack of connection. We often underestimate the value of ordinary conversations. Talking about sports, sharing funny stories, chatting about music or weekend plans may seem superficial. However, these light exchanges act as the glue of human relationships. Trust rarely begins with a deep discussion about philosophy. It usually starts with a smile and a few relaxed minutes of small talk. People do not need you to be smarter than they are. They simply need to feel comfortable around you. Think of moments when you presented an excellent idea, but it received little support. Perhaps the concept was strong, but your colleagues did not feel emotionally connected to you, so they were hesitant to join. Meanwhile, somebody else with a much less impressive idea managed to gather a team, secure resources, and move forward simply because others enjoyed working with them. They listened, joked, showed interest, and built goodwill long before asking for help. The harsh reality is that success is rarely a solo performance. It is a group project. No matter how brilliant your thoughts are, if you cannot communicate them or collaborate with others, their impact will remain limited. This does not mean you must become the loudest person in the room. It means you should recognize that relationships matter as much as skills. Saying yes to a casual coffee, joining colleagues for lunch, or sending a friendly message is not a waste of time. It is part of building a support network. The next time you are tempted to decline every invitation because you think chatting is unproductive, remember that some of the most important opportunities in life arise from unplanned, relaxed conversations. Finally, highly intelligent people often have a habit of complicating everything. You want to learn English, so you design an elaborate color-coded study system with 15 categories, 7 apps, 3 notebooks, and a long list of rules. For a week, it feels exciting. Then you get tired and drop the whole thing. The truth is that life responds much better to simple, sustainable routines than to grand, dramatic plans. People who quietly succeed are usually those who keep things very straightforward. They do not ask, what is the ultimate scientifically optimized method that guarantees a 300% improvement? They ask, what can I realistically keep doing every day for the next year? They choose habits that look almost embarrassingly small: reading 10 pages, walking 20 minutes, saving a modest amount of money each month, practicing one skill for 15 minutes. It does not sound impressive, yet these small, repeatable actions accumulate until they transform reality. In contrast, if you're used to thinking in complex systems, simple actions feel too trivial. Your mind wants elegant structure and intellectual challenge, but success often looks boring up close. It looks like repetition, like showing up again and again, like doing the same basic moves thousands of times. The great danger for clever people is that they get addicted to interesting ideas and forget that outcomes are built from unglamorous consistency, not from the brilliance of the plan. So where does this leave you? Intelligence is not a VIP ticket that guarantees success. It is just a tool, powerful but neutral. How you use it determines whether it becomes an engine or a weight. If you let it trap you in endless thinking, perfectionism, complex theories, and fear of looking foolish, it will quietly hold you back. But if you use it to design simple systems, to question your own excuses, to notice when your ego is getting in the way, and to understand people better, it becomes a tremendous advantage. The next time you catch yourself building yet another detailed scenario in your mind, without taking a single step, pause and ask, am I making this more complicated than it needs to be? Often the solution is not another breakthrough idea. It is a small, concrete action. Sending one email, writing one paragraph, doing 10 push-ups, asking one person for help, setting a timer for 10 focused minutes. Once you move, however clumsily, you are already ahead of the many intelligent people who are still sitting at their desks, lost in thought. If these words feel uncomfortably accurate, that is a good sign. It means you recognize some of these patterns in yourself, and recognition is the first step to change. Do not overanalyze this moment. Do not promise yourself that you will start next week when things are calmer. Pick one thing, however small, that you have been postponing, and do it right after finishing this. Send the message, open the document, make the call, move your body. Let your intelligence guide you, but let your actions speak for you. And if you feel that this perspective has touched something true in you, resist the urge to simply nod, think interesting, and move on. Take a second to share it with someone who might also be stuck in their own golden cage. Then put your phone down and go work on that task you have been delaying. Your brain is powerful. Now let your feet, your hands, and your daily choices catch up.